Let's go on to then our big story as well. Today, former President Jacob Zuma has thanked South Africans for their support after Correctional Services announced that he has now concluded his 15-month jail sentence. It says Zuma's sentence expired today and he's been released from the system. Now, the Constitutional Court handed Zuma's the prison sentence in June last year. Now, the former president was admitted to the Escort Correctional Center on the 8th of July. He was freed on the 5th of September after he was granted medical parole. His parole conditions meant that Zuma was to serve the remainder of his sentence under the Kranskop Community Corrections. Let's stay with us and speak to the Department of Correctional Services spokesperson, Singabakho Nxumalo. Singabakho, thank you so much for your time this evening. Has he complied with all the conditions?
A very good evening and thank you for having us. As a department, we can confirm that Mr. Zuma did comply with his medical parole placement conditions, hence it was therefore possible that we release him from our system as there were no penalties.
Some say, though, that there is special treatment in this regard. I mean, if you watch just as the announcement came on social media, some say that there are a litany of other prisoners that were also, waiting to be granted medical parole, and they believe that there's something that is not quite right here, suggesting special treatment. How do you respond?
There are processes that must be followed, and with this particular one, I think the guiding is to say what was the sentence. Here, Mr. Zuma was given 15 months, and by the end of that 15 months, and by law, we have to release that person from our system. And we needed then to go through what happened during his tenure, and he was granted medical parole placement, and there were conditions attached to that. We need to check all those details. Hence, then, as a department, we could confirm that placement. In relation to the people who may have other complaints, the good thing about, a system is that there are always checks and balances, and there are avenues where people could explore in case they are not satisfied with certain things. So as a department, we are in the position where we believe that everything was done according to the law.
What does this then now mean, though, for the challenge around his release from prison? I suppose it might be moot now?
What we're dealing with here is a warrant of detention which emanated from the sentence that was issued by the Constitutional Court, which was then used in admitting Mr. Zuma. So that is the only court order in our position. It's what we could rely on. We don't have any other document advising us otherwise, and that's the only document that we could use. Hence, then, we needed to process that.
All right, Singabakho, thank you so much for your time this evening. I do appreciate it. He's the Department of Correctional Services spokesperson.